Pose, 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 I do adore. Pose, 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 I do adore. Pose, 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 I do adore. Wow, that's that's kind of stupid. I probably shouldn't have this in there.
What is up, awesome people of the internet, and welcome to another week of women's college basketball. And when another week comes another AP poll, AP Top 25 poll, and that's what we're going to go over today because people have some thoughts about this poll. We're going to take a look at who made the top 25, and also I'm going to share my thoughts about who voted for what and where they're wrong. And I would love to hear you all's thoughts in the comments below. So let's get into it. So the top 25, the number one pick is very, very obvious. We all knew that it was going to be South Carolina because South Carolina is freaking amazing. And there's just like nothing that anyone can do to stop them. So that was a no-brainer, easy, no arguments on that front. We have UCLA at number 2. We have Colorado at number 3, Stanford number 4, Iowa number 5, big surprise for a lot of people. UConn at number 6, LSU 7, Southern California 8, Virginia Tech 9, Utah 10, North Carolina State 10. So both Utah and North Carolina State are both tied in the voting. Texas is number 12. Florida State 13, Baylor 14, Ohio State 15, Kansas State 16, Notre Dame 17, North Carolina 18, Tennessee number 19, Louisville 20, Indiana 21, Oklahoma 22, Washington State 23, Ole Miss 24, and Mississippi State 25. So that's who we have. But let's kind of get into it because some people had some thoughts, and I personally also had some thoughts on this. So in terms of the rankings, I don't have a problem with 1 through 4. So South Carolina makes sense. UCLA makes sense to me. Colorado, I mean, maybe you could put Stanford over Colorado, but like 3 and 4, I think those are good spots. No problems on that front. What I am surprised at is that Iowa is number 5. Like, it doesn't make any sense that Iowa is number 5 because, one, they were kind of high to begin with. Last week they were number 2. This week they're number 5, and they lost to a team that wasn't even ranked last week. And so, now K-State is number 16, so they really jumped up on the rankings. But I feel like Iowa is a little bit too high. I would have put LSU, UConn, and USC over Iowa. That's my personal opinion. Yes, they beat Virginia Tech, but I still wouldn't put them over these other guys. So to me, Iowa is at 5 is pretty high. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. But I think it's pretty high. I feel like it's pretty high for a team that hasn't done much, and also a team that really struggled in that game against K-State. That game kind of showed some of the flaws that Iowa has, and so to me it's pretty they're ranked pretty high. And then we have UConn, LSU, USC. Again, I would put them above Iowa, but other than that, I don't have any real qualms about it. Virginia Tech, Utah, North Carolina State. I really think that's fine. I really don't have problems with the rest of the rankings until we get down to number 17. So to me, I don't know how you say that K-State is better than Notre Dame right now. Like I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Yes, K-State beat Iowa, but to me, Notre Dame is still a better team overall. So I would have put them higher. North Carolina, Tennessee, Louisville, I don't really have any problems with the rest of this. I don't really have any problems at all. Ole Miss, I think they were sort of higher up to start for the preseason. They were pretty high up, and they've kind of like dropped down as time has gone on, and I think as we continue to get into December and January, they're going to start moving back up on the list. And also, shout out to Mississippi State for for continuing to stay right in the middle, right in the thick of things, basically at number 25. So I didn't have that many problems with the list, other than Iowa being too high, and K-State, in my opinion, also being a little bit too high. All right, so now let's get into how some of these voters voted. So as we know, the AP rankings is based off of a bunch of voters, like a lot of voters. And I just wanted to go through and see a couple of the notable voters, and so we can see kind of how they decided to vote. So first, I'm going to start with Rebecca Lobo. And I actually don't really have any issues with Rebecca Lobo's list, because she did what I thought should happen. I thought Iowa should be below LSU and UConn, and that's what she did. So she had South Carolina at 1, UCLA, Colorado, Stanford, LSU, UConn, Iowa, Utah, Ohio State, and Virginia Tech. I don't have any problems with that list. I really don't. Also, she put K-State a little further down. She also had Mississippi State over Washington State and Oklahoma. So I don't have any problems with Rebecca Lobo's list at all. I know Rebecca Lobo sometimes gets a lot of critique about her voting and being biased towards UConn, but I thought it was fine. I didn't have any problems with that list. Let's check out what Michelle Smith did. So Michelle Smith, very, very similar in where she plays players. So again, I have no qualms about this voting. No qualms at all. And since we are on here, I just want to take a look at M.A. Vopel as well. So M.A., we have North Carolina State ahead of Iowa, which I am fine with. I think North Carolina State is great. Like I really, really like NC State, and how they've played this year. So I don't have that many qualms at all about that. And now what's interesting is that we have Ole Miss sort of towards the bottom, and then we have Mississippi State that didn't even make the cut on this list, which is interesting. And we have like Maryland, who I'm surprised got picked in the top 25, because I think where it stands right now, I don't think Maryland is a top 25 team. Like I don't think they are. Maybe as the season continues to go on, but so far what they've done so far, I would not put Maryland in my top 25. So that was a pretty interesting pick by M.A. Vopel. Let's look at a couple other people. Let's take a look at Roger Cleveland. So again, very, very similar. So Roger has USC at number 4 at NC State, and then surprisingly Iowa over LSU, which is interesting. So again, not that many qualms, except for the fact that it's very interesting. So Roger has Marquette at number 22. And has Creighton at number 25. Now, to be fully transparent, I have not seen a single game from Marquette this year. I've watched a bunch of basketballs. I watched a lot of these teams play, but I have not seen Marquette and I have not seen Creighton play. So I'm not sure how to sort of react to Roger putting them on this list, because again, I have not seen them play. But I will make sure to take a look and watch them play pretty soon. We have Jeff Linder. And Jeff is actually with the Cedar Rapids Gazette. So that's in Iowa. Surprisingly, Jeff put Iowa at number 10, which I don't mind. Though I wouldn't put K-State at number 8. Like, to me, that's really, really high for K-State. Like, K-State is good, but they're a solid, 12, 14, even like 18 ranked team. Like, they're not that high up. So to me, that was kind of a surprise. Of course, they beat Iowa, which was a big game, but I don't think I would have put K-State that high. Let's just take a look at a couple more of these, and then we will rock and roll out of here. All right. So Alexis Kubit, I think that's how you pronounce the name. We can see how they voted here. Not that much to write home about, other than the fact that they put K-State at number 25, which was pretty interesting. I think that was pretty like low for K-State. And we have Zach Smith who put Texas at number 4. Now, I mean, look at where Zach works in Waco. So maybe a little bias there, maybe a little bit biased, but yeah. But yeah, we could see how Zach voted. But yeah, guys, that's the votes. I just wanted to just walk through it. Also, just to let you all know that you can actually see how every single person voted. And it could be pretty interesting to just go through and just sort of see who they voted for and kind of, see how that ultimate poll is set up, right? It's a series of people all around the country voting. And we can kind of see how teams got where they are. So, for example, we can see Reed Darcy put Iowa at number 3, which is, to me, kind of crazy. We also have Virginia Tech at number 2, which is wild. Like, this is a very interesting list for Virginia Tech and Iowa to be 2 and 3, and then basically everybody else to be behind them. So, to me, that's very, very interesting. Again, this person has Maryland in the top 25, which definitely isn't something that I would do. But you can kind of see how the ultimate list is made up, because they take all these rankings, they put it in some sort of algorithm or whatever, and then that's how they come up with the final ranking. So it's pretty interesting, guys. But again, let's just take another look at the the total votes and rankings. So again, we have South Carolina, UCLA, Colorado, Stanford, Iowa, UConn, LSU, USC, Virginia Tech, and Utah in that order. What do y'all think about these rankings? It's pretty interesting. It's interesting how these rankings have severely changed over time. Like let's take a look at week 1. Like, it's dramatically different. Taking a look at week 1. LSU was number 1. UConn was number 2. Iowa, UCLA, Utah, South Carolina was number 6. Ohio State, Virginia Tech, Indiana, and Notre Dame. Like, this year feels like the first year that I can really remember that the first 3 weeks of these AP polls have been so vastly different week over week. Like, it's crazy how far these teams have dropped and sort of shifted around over time, which is very, very interesting. Like, this is feels like the first time that this has happened. Though I will say that this year I'm paying way more attention to AP polls than I ever have. Like, yeah, I would pay attention to them, but I never really looked week over week really before. So I'm not sure completely if if this is like the first time in the last 20 years, but it sort of feels like the first time in a very long time that the rankings have been so vastly different. But what do y'all think about these rankings? Where would you all place these teams? For example, where is Iowa on your list? Let me know in the comments below. Also, would you put Colorado at number 3? Would you put UCLA at number 2? Let me know your thoughts, because I think Stanford's pretty good. They're looking pretty good, though they did eke out a win this past weekend. But women's basketball is here, and there's a lot of parity. There's a lot of parity to go around, and I, for one, am very excited about it. So let me know what y'all think in the comments below about the rankings. And I will see you all next time. Until next time, guys. Bye.